Hello, everybody. I'm Kristin.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching The Last of Us, Season 1, Episode 8, When We Are in Need. Hello also from our t-shirts.
Yeah. So, again, not normal viewers of stuff that I'm on, you get to experience one of my other big emotions, which is rage.
Female rage. Pull that Anya Taylor-Joy interview where she just like kicks her foot up and she's like,
I have a thing about feminine rage.
Yeah, very that. Go ahead and start, because you're gonna have to navigate through this, because right now it is like
flames on the side of my face.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, we open, as all good things do, with the Book of Revelation.
Yay!
Chapter 21, verse 4, I guess. Is that how you say Bible things? Okay. Yeah. So, Will was talking about it a little, and he was like, the thing about this chapter and verse of the Bible is that it's actually supposed to be very uplifting and nice. And the way that it's David, right? Yes. He's David. The way that David is using it is very weaponized.
Religiously violent.
Gross.
Yes.
Super gross. Also, the fact that his name is David.
Oh, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. David and James.
David and James, and then the one of the other ones is Josiah. Look. I do kind of like this Bible verse, also because it's in Titanic. The priest, as the boat is like sinking, is saying it as well.
I know.
I don't know. It's like
so much to say, but it's just like everything is turning.
It's so much. So like immediately, we are like wrong-footed with this man. I am. I guess some people probably aren't. I am very wrong-footed with this man because these people look so beaten down.
Yes.
And so downtrodden, and he is just quoting scripture at them as if that's helpful at all. We find out very rapidly that they are, one of their men has died. They are running out of food, and they cannot bury the man. Here's my question. What happens come springtime when she obviously has not let this go, and what are they gonna bury? Because, spoiler alert, cannibals. Which, okay, he was like, do you think I don't feel shame for that? And I'm like, if the person's already dead, it's the end of the world. It's obviously like a social norm that you shouldn't be breaking just willy-nilly, but like, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. You know what I mean?
And I'm sorry, but also, the world has been this way for long enough.
Yeah.
Are you not practiced enough that you have stores of food?
Clearly not.
I'm confused.
Well, okay, so they've only been there for like a handful of years.
Okay.
Because they left Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I agree with you.
He was a teacher, and while he was a teacher of math, did he not at some point learn when you're in a harsh winter environment, all you do for spring and summer is prepare for winter?
Food, yeah.
Like, I don't understand how they were so ill-prepared.
Like, why are you in Colorado?
Right! I don't know. And the way that he makes James confirm that he still believes.
Yeah.
Anytime that you're having to be like, I felt a little disbelief in there. And like, you need to be with me. No, I don't.
No, definitely not.
No, I absolutely don't. I absolutely do not.
I did also, James is played by Troy Baker, who played Joel in the video games. And I thought he did a great job. And so did Scott Shepherd, who played David. He was just slimy the whole time. And I thought he did a super good job. But I did like the character of James. I thought it was, especially for existing only within this episode, he was a pretty rich character. And I think he was pretty interesting. And like, while he was questioning, he also like, I think realized he was in too deep that he couldn't leave David and like try to go out on his own. But I did like, especially the moments where, like Ellie is still taking care of Joel, and I wouldn't say it's definitely already infected because I don't think there's been enough time, but she's worried that it's going to get infected. Yeah. And she's like trying to feed him water and trying to feed him food. So she goes out hunting because they're almost out of food, and she gets a stag. Like, it's not the cleanest kill because it runs away for quite a while, but then she runs into James and David as well. And just the way that David is like, fine, yes, go get her the medicine and we'll trade the half of this deer, whatever. And James is like,
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not talking in code. Go do it. But then James is like a little knitting circle granny and tells everybody.
I mean, it's just like the British are coming. Yeah. We got the girl who killed Alec. We got the girl who killed Alec. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And so then this obviously ties in with 2 episodes ago because that raiding party that they met at the university were men from this community. Which I also liked that as well. I think they're weaving the storytelling through really well. And
it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how much this stuff is like directly carried over because I know they have made decent changes, but I liked that quite a lot. That scene where they're like sheltering and he makes the fire, that was very cool.
It was
like the 2-shot with David and Ellie. Very, very cool. I liked that a lot, and that it comes to a head basically so perfectly with James coming from behind with the gun, and then he's like, we know that, like, the guy you're with killed our guy. And he's like, put the gun down. And, it was just, like, really good. Plot-wise, she is disgustingly injecting Joel with penicillin straight into his wound.
Right into it.
Which, like...
don't do that.
She doesn't know, and also he's unconscious, and it seems to work gangbusters because he is in fighting form after 2 doses. But basically, yeah, she runs away and gets back there. She like blocks him in and like gives him the knife and is like, if anybody comes for you, kill them. Like, I'm gonna try to lead them away. R.I.P. the horse.
I was very sad.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But still, he did not deserve it.
Poor horse. Well, now he's not even gonna get eaten because they like burned down at least that one building.
Well, they let it fucking freeze. It already had like frozen patches, and it's just like, you guys are hungry, but you're not doing anything. Like, I guess, I don't know. Don't you get sick from eating people?
Wait, it's like only if you do it like consistently.
Oh, okay.
They did have 3 bodies.
3.
So like, who else died?
I don't know. Ugh.
Very interesting. Then we get to the really gross part. So David gets Ellie locked up, and he tries to like reason with her like about, you know, that he could like help her, and that
he keeps running the through line of everyone needs a father. Everyone needs a father. You need the girl that he slapped across the fucking face for wanting to kill Ellie. And he was like, don't forget, you'll always have a father.
Yeah.
And I was like, does he mean himself or does he mean God? Because I think that
I think both.
Both, but I'm just kind of like, he's putting a little too much emphasis on that.
It gets to a real, like, father/daddy place.
Yeah.
Because it gets so sexual.
Like, immediately. And just the way that he, like...
Well, it's not immediate is the thing. Is it, like, takes all the way to like the second to last scene with them for it to get sexual.
It was
for him to get sexual. Overtly,
yes, but like spidey senses.
Oh yeah,
like,
no,
I was soon like, as he started talking down to her, and like it was all the equivalent of like that.
No,
I hate it.
Just disgusting. So she's like, yeah, you know, nice try. And he basically is like, I can tell them to stop going after Joel. And like, meanwhile, we're getting like intercut scenes of Joel absolutely wrecking these dudes. Like, they are all dead.
Yeah.
Because he stabs the one in the basement and then he gets another one. So he got all four of the ones that were still out there.
I think only 3 of them.
Was it only 3?
Yeah. Yes.
Then he must drag the guy in the snow and the guy that found the guy in the snow back inside and tied them up.
Yeah.
Okay. Boy, howdy, he stabbed him right in the knee. Super terrible. Yep. Luckily, he then also killed him because why do you want to walk around like that? So, like, we're obviously not worrying about Joel at that point, but Ellie is, and she doesn't know that he's, like, okay or anything. And so when he comes back down, that's when he's like, I need you to rule at my side. Like, like, Ellie's 14.
He goes, you were my equal.
No. It's giving you're so grown up for your age.
Yeah.
You're an old soul. You're not like the other girls.
You're so mature.
Barf.
What is it like being that mature at that young an age?
And she is a smart fucking cookie because she leans in, she grabs his hand, he she puts her hand down, he puts his hand down on top, and she puts her other hand, and then she like grabs him and like breaks part of his hand, and incredible.
And she like, as he's falling, she goes to grab his keys and he slams her face into the bars.
And calls her a cunt.
Yes. And
not very biblical.
No, they never are.
The ones who want child brides are rarely ever actually good at the Bible.
Yeah. And so that's when she finally tells him her name. And she said, it's Ellie. Tell them the little girl is named Ellie who broke your fucking finger. And I was like, yes, bitch.
Amazing.
Absolutely. Because it's like, it's do or die for her. And so, because it's like, she's a literal animal in the cage.
Well, she isn't, and I loved that scene as well when she clocks that they've been eating people because she sees an ear on the ground of this like kitchen area that they have. I really loved that moment because she's like, you're an animal. And he goes, well, we all are. And I'm like, yeah, but again, like you're putting, and I think I am coming down weirdly pro-cannibal in this episode, but like, I'm just saying the circumstances are the circumstances. And I think if you have to come to terms with it, that's fine. But like, just maybe don't in secret make a girl eat her dad.
Well, and to the religious point of that, there is a lot of conversation, especially like, I don't know if this was what it was for everyone, but when I was in CCD and was still going to church and all that stuff, it was talking about how the thing that makes us separate from animals is free will. So anytime that you're talking about things biblically and you're like, but we're not animals, therefore we have morals and we can make these decisions. And what he's doing is he's excusing animalistic behavior. So eradicating all moral objectivity, all moral obligation, any kind of faith whatsoever to excuse all of this and then just be like, oh, I do feel shame. No, you fucking don't.
Well, because he is also taking the free will away from his people.
Absolutely.
Because if you could just be like, hey man, we are out of food and there is meat right here. If you want to eat it, you can. We are going to prepare it like it's food. If you don't want to eat it, that's fine. But he is gaslighting them all into eating their dad, and I just don't like it.
I don't either. I don't like it.
God, I don't like it.
Yeah, they basically, after she breaks his hand, then James and David both come back, and they make like they're gonna just cut her up. Like, not kill her first. Cut her up while she's alive.
I felt like he was going to... You know, because back in the biblical days, they take your hand first. So I feel like it was going to be incapacitate, let's teach her a lesson. He was not going to kill her. He was going to play with her first.
Well, potentially, yes, from David. But like James and the other men were like, kill her. Like when she was incapacitated off the horse, I think it was Josiah was like, do it. Like, just shoot her in the head. And it's like...
Well, because, I mean... They have a good point. She's just another mouth to feed. And, excuse me. And, I mean, we're already eating dead people because we can't feed the mouths that we do have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a fair argument to make because it's like, why are we keeping her when we don't have the room?
Yeah.
There's no room at the inn.
Here's the other thing, too, is like, I understand Alec's daughter's position where it's like an eye for an eye, kind of. Like, I get that kind of like vengeance scheme or whatever.
Right. But then on that though, because he's not teaching the Bible correctly, eye for an eye, the world is left blind.
Of course, 100%. My point is that I think like I can understand that side of it, that she wants vengeance, but it's also like Ellie's not the one who actually did it.
Right.
And they are looking at this through rose-colored glasses because those men attacked Ellie and Joel first.
Exactly.
So if anything, the eye has already been got for the other eye.
Right.
Regardless, she does bite David on the hand, which I liked quite a lot as well. And then as they're about to like chop her with a huge cleaver, she's like, I'm infected. Like, she's all cards on the table. It was so good. And he was like, you're lying. And she was like, well, I am infected and you are too, because I bit you. And so they lift up her sleeve and they see her arm and everything. It is like remarkably well healed. And like, it's only like just on her forearm. Regardless, it's enough of a distraction for her to then get the cleaver and get Troy Baker right in the neck.
It was good.
They end up upstairs and she ends up setting the place on fire, which it was like a resort, they said. So it was like the meeting area of the resort. And then he starts stalking around her and still saying like gross shit.
Well, he's effectively coming out that he is a pedophile. And so we kind of skipped over it, but when he was talking to her when she was in the cage and he was trying to like relate to her or make her relate to him, and he calls out that he recognizes himself in her because she has a violent heart.
Mm-hmm.
And in the commentary after the episode, it's like they do have that in common. She does have a violent heart. And
I disagree.
I agree with you about disagreeing, because having to survive, you have to do some fucked up shit, right? So that you're not allowing the violence into your heart. You have to do what has to be done, right? And then especially, this is where we get into like being a woman in this world. We are not inherently violent. Violence is constantly done to us.
Like from minute one.
Minute one. So we can only meet violence with violence if we want to ensure our survival in this world.
Yeah. She's also, I think it's very important to note that she's not courting violence.
Exactly.
She is doing violence when it needs to be done. Because I don't even think that Joel has a violent heart.
I would agree with that as well.
But these men have violent hearts because they want to be doing these violent, negative things. They were out as a raiding party. Like, I don't know. That was probably, I want to say, the first time that I feel like Craig Mazin didn't really have a handle on something so far. Because I just was like, I really balk at because that means it's in her nature. And I don't think it's in her nature. I think she's very prickly on the outside because she's had to grow up very fast. She's lost everyone she's ever known or cared about. And she is living in a violent world in which violence needs to be done by her.
Right.
And in which violence has been done to her. And I don't think that necessarily means you have a violent heart. And,
I agree.
And I don't, I balk at that, but that's like literally the first thing in this whole show that and it wasn't even stated in the show, because even Ellie balks at it in the moment when David says that to her, like, we both have violent hearts. And she's like,
I think it was a moment of self-reflection, because it's like, do I?
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're right, I have done violent things, but does that inherently make me violent?
And I don't, despite the descent moment at the end of this episode where she just wails on him for like a minute uninterrupted with the cleaver.
Well, for me, that was very much a fuck around and find out.
100%.
Because it's like, you want a violent heart? I will fucking deliver.
How does your violent heart feel now?
Yeah. Well, and then, at the end of the episode, she's dissociated, like she's out of it, you know, when they have that lovely moment between her and Joel calls her baby girl. Oh my God, I can't talk about it. I'll cry.
The feelings I felt.
Ugh. Both good and some really good. So
if he had kids, he would be such a girl dad.
Oh my God, 100%. And so she's like obviously kind of thinking through it. But again, to go back to what Craig Mazin said, where it was like, he was saying that Ellie has to make a choice, like, will she come back from this whole experience? And I think that it's a disservice in that he's coming from a very male perspective, whereas either am I bad now or am I still good?
Yeah.
Whereas women,
or even like an am I broken now?
Right.
Or like
right. Where, and because the patriarchy fucks over everybody, right? Like it
even
hurts
the men
as much as it hurts women. Women more, but it does hurt men in that their feelings are so minimalized, so they can only see things very black and white. Like, I have to make the decision. Whereas women, we have to go through these horrendous things, and we still have to be ourselves. Like,
especially in media.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I don't necessarily think that Ellie has a choice to make about, will this affect her? This will be a shadow on her for the rest of her life. However,
it matters how she deals with
that moment that she sees Joel.
Yeah.
It's gone.
100%.
It was like euphoria on her face. So it's still in there.
Of course.
We all contain multitudes. You can take that experience with you. You don't have to let it ruin everything.
It's not the whole thing.
Yeah. It's not the redemption arc for our lead character. Yeah. No, this shit happens all the fucking time. And it fucking sucks. But we keep we persevere. We endeavor to endure and survive.
Look at you.
Constantly enduring and surviving and having to do it with a smile on our face.
Well, Ellie doesn't smile very much anyway.
But you know, but so I'm a little bummed, but I mean, I'm bummed in that way. It's not fully detracting, but it's just like she gonna be fine.
I also didn't have those feelings until I heard Craig Mazin talk about it.
Right.
So it was like the episode didn't give me those feelings.
No, it didn't. So that's why I thought it was a little. I was just kind of like, really? And when
also, she did get her bloody revenge.
Yes,
so.
she did.
Hell yeah.
Listen, if you guys watched our prisoners coverage, Will did not account for my bloodlust. And it's like, listen, I'm a loyal motherfucker. If any of these idiots were tied up anywhere, I'd be like, let's go. Let's get it done. And I will get it. I will get them out. So it's like, push me to the brink and you will get a cleaver to the face.
It is a fuck around and find out.
Yeah, very much that.
Well, yeah, so they're reunited and they are going back on the road to get to Salt Lake City, which it looks like we get there next week for the finale. So
why are they going to Salt Lake City?
That is when they were in the school, when Joel got
that's where they went. Got it.
That's where they think the scientists
went. Right. I'd just go back to Jackson for a little bit and be like, I need a couple weeks off.
Need to recuperate. Ellie he was hopped up on penicillin. That was like 2 full syringes of penicillin that she shot in there.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to find some probiotics somewhere. He's gonna be fucked up for weeks.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, really good episode. Really unsettling. I'm super pumped all those dudes are dead. I feel a little bad for the rest of the
they'll be fine.
Will made an allusion to the fact that we might not be finished with some of these people.
Oh no.
So we'll see.
God, is that girl gonna be like the teenage girl that just was like calling for Ellie's head on a platter?
I'm not sure. Please don't tell us. We don't want spoilers.
Yes, please.
I know some stuff that's coming, like some stuff that's in game 2, but nobody else does. So yeah, I think that was it. This is already probably so long for my husband to get out tonight. But yeah, we will be back next week, on time and everything. We're gonna skip the Oscars to watch this instead because it's better. So bye.
Bye.